What is happening, AJ Gamer Dude here, and I'm going to be talking about how Mortal Kombat 1 actually released on the Switch and isn't looking too good. Not looking good at all. So I'm at the Eurogamer article here that kind of was like the first thing that came up when I did look up Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch, besides like just some random sort of shopping links and stuff like that. And nicely enough, in the actual article they do have a little bit of like a slideshow of like 10 sort of comparative screenshots to be like, this is what the Switch looks like on the left versus like say the PS5 version on the right. Like as you can see with this screenshot right here, and I mean it's clear that there's like no lack of facial features. The head ornament is a lot smaller. People have been comparing this to a PS3 game on the YouTubes, and for someone like me who's actually been playing PS3 games for the past like month or so, I feel like this might look closer to PS1 graphics, to be completely honest. But then again, PS1 was a lot more blockier, so I feel like it's the in-between of like better than PS1, but there are some really good looking PS2 games. That's why I feel like it's unfair to compare it to a PS2 game, so it finds itself in the sort of really weird random area of looking better than one particular console that we know how good things can look on it, or versus like it being not as good compared to other games on that exact same piece of hardware. So I feel like you could really go anyway on this. Maybe we could say it's like early PS2, but even then there was some really good looking early PS2 games. So again, it really just doesn't, it finds itself in a really weird spot. But regardless of that, so at the end of the day, in order to keep the gameplay 60 FPS as much as possible on the Switch, a lot of concessions were needed to be made in the graphical department, and that's kind of what you can see here. Like look at the next screenshot. That hell of a lot of difference in terms of like what you're looking at with a piece of hardware that came out in 2017 versus now. Now it's not to say that like we should start completely decking the Switch for like its aged hardware. I feel like everyone knows how old the hardware is. Despite the fact that it came out in 2017, the chipset inside was originally released in 2015. So I feel like, Nintendo got like a pretty budget price out of it at the end of the day to be able to make, Switches out of it. Now, there have been rumors of the Switch 2, which I have discussed in like my own channel, which I will link a video to in the description below. Without a doubt, there are rumors of a Switch 2 coming out, being shown behind closed doors, sure enough, but for sure, like, it will likely end up happening sometime next year. At least that's what the current sort of rumor mill is currently looking at. Actually, I might just keep going through these. Oh, here we go. Like, so we've got Sub-Zero here. And for some reason, the depth perception, especially during one of the videos that I saw, was how if the character who's facing the character on the left, if they move more to the left, they become smaller. So it's almost like they're becoming part of the background further away. But the more they move to the right, the bigger they get. And that was kind of like a really bizarre one, which I think this Sub-Zero example was meant to encapsulate. It's just weird stuff. Raiden? I mean, the lightning just looks like sort of fuzzy balls rather than actual, like... Sucks to see that he's no longer the god anymore, but then again, like, the lightning god had fell, and now it's not Liu Kang. Who's the new god? I haven't even played Mortal Kombat 1, but I feel like I kind of vaguely know some of the story beats a little bit. We've got Kenshi, who looks... Yeah, I mean, you can tell that things look a lot fuzzier on the left. Like, you can barely tell that his hair is on, or the fact that he has hair that... Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, the details are completely gone. It just looks like, really bad sort of, CG, really. Like, you're looking at, like, a live-action movie. It just looks like real bad CG. I feel like I'm just more so dunking on it. But the fact that the Switch version was so bad that IGN did a separate review for it and gave it a 3 out of 10. because again it only plays really like at 30 FPS, and so it kind of falls in line with what early Mortal Kombat were like in the like the GBA version of Mortal Kombat, for example, was a completely different game compared to like say other games during its time, like Mortal Kombat Deception and stuff like that. Let's move on to the next screenshot. Actually, that's oh god, what happened to Melina? Dog, she doesn't have a good look on her face, let's put it that way. And I'm putting that very nicely. What else we got? Yeah, the effects are completely gone, so it looks very basic in that sense. Do games need to look good? Nah, not really, as long as it plays well. But this game doesn't even play well, so it plays alright. But the thing is, it looks so bad that I guess it just kind of takes away. You know what? Maybe you could probably take your examples. Ah, there we go, see? Oh my god, there is no tongue. Like, what happened here? Oh god, that's not great. Not at all. What really makes this worse is, as it says down here, that Mortal Kombat 1 for the Switch is $70, which is the second Switch game to cost $70. At least you could argue that with Tears of the Kingdom it might be worth it because the game is just so very good. But Mortal Kombat 1 isn't. It's absolutely rubbish. So yeah, that's kind of like a basic summary of like, I didn't really even need to say much. I felt like I kind of showed everything through these screenshots of like, okay, here's what the game looks like. Okay, the game runs at 60 FPS while you're fighting, but 30 everywhere else. And it costs $70, which is more than, which is equal to the PS5 and Xbox One versions. So when you compare everything together, I don't think there's any more reason that needs to be said there. Mortal Kombat 1 should never have released on Switch, and yet they did, likely because of Warner Brothers. And what makes the whole thing even better or even spicier is that the trailer for the Switch version was actually taking PC gameplay instead, because on the bottom right hand side you'll see that an achievement pops on Steam, and I don't think that the Switch version has Steam achievements, to say it lightly. So ultimately that particular trailer did get taken down and has not returned. So interesting to see that that's happening. So is it more on the fault of NetherRealm, or is it more on the fault of Warner Brothers Games, who are the parent company to NetherRealm? So it really just depends. Fixes are coming, but I feel like no matter what, it likely will not match up. But we'll have to see how things go, what the rumor mill looks like for the Switch 2 and everything else in between. Let me know what you guys thought about everything I've just said in the comments below. Like the video if you liked this content, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'd like my videos to go out to more people, and I am aiming for 100 subs by the end of the year. With all that said and done, I do upload daily, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.